What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest live show. What up, Manny?
Yo, what's up, Ryan? I like how you're switching it up with the music. Look at that.
trying.
Aside from a great PDR tech, you're a great DJ too.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to be like you.
No, that's great music, man. I like it.
So what's going on, man? How are you?
Just trying to catch up. What's up to everyone who's joining us? Just trying to catch up. I had to take a few days off last week. One of the little ones, ended up at the hospital for a couple of days. Nothing major. She was just born with something in her neck that creates an abscess. So she was hurting over last weekend, and we were hoping it was just going to go away on its own, but it didn't. So by like Monday, we had to take her in. And as a small business, that's where we get challenged. Having to take that time off. And how do you deal with those clients that you have, appointments set up?
The biggest thing is this honesty.
Yeah.
Life happens. That's what we've realized in this crazy world that we live in. You know what I mean? That life just happens and it is what it is. Yeah.
But, it's just like we all have it in us that it's our business. It's how we support our family. So it's just like there's a lot in us that we know that we have to take care of that client.
Yeah.
We're always afraid of like bad reviews or they're going to be able to wait for you and things like that. So you have that in you, but you also know it's your family. And like you said, stuff happens, right?
And I think the hardest part in our business, right, is when you have to reschedule that customer. Most of the time, we're already scheduled out the next week. So you have to find a spot for him to make it work. And in our heads, we want to make it as convenient as we can for their schedule because we've already canceled.
Right.
So it makes that's so difficult. It is.
So it's just like, what do you do? Do you cancel everyone else and put those clients that you canceled the first day up
You're
front?
Just chasing your tail at that point.
Or you just put them on the back, like, what do you do? And
one at a time and try to make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because if you cancel those other appointments, you're just prolonging that whole thing. Right? You've canceled his, then you've canceled theirs, and you're just constantly chasing.
Yeah.
So,
and what was crazy is that the first day, which was Monday, was my day off, so everything was fine. But once Tuesday came in, and it's like your regular business hours, clients are calling you. And even though you leave it, or at least I leave it on my voicemail greeting that like, hey, family emergency. We're closed today. Sometimes those clients don't listen to those voicemail greetings. They just hang up and call you right back thinking that you just don't want to answer your phone. Mm-hmm. And so I am literally in the surgery pre-op room, waiting for the doctors that are doing the stuff around my daughter. And I keep getting this phone call. And I actually thought it was a client that was just towing in his car. So I answered right away. Like on the third call. And I have a client that's trying to get an estimate. He's saying that he drove 30 minutes to come see me. And it's just like, he's asking me like, I'm telling him like, hey, I'm sorry. at the hospital with my daughter. We're gonna go into a surgery right now. And he's literally like, "So what do you want me to do?"
Not your customer.
And I don't know. At that moment, I didn't know what to do, but I was just like, I'm just gonna have to call you back. But that's the other part, that you have clients that understand, and you also have the ones that really don't care.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's tough. So anyway, so just trying to catch up out of that train wreck.
It's hard. It's hard. You know what I mean? I mean, I had a customer reach out today. Hey, I never heard back from you. If you still want to do the work, it's yours. Things fall through the cracks. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what it is. Yeah, sure. Let's schedule you. I don't even know,
Yeah.
So, but it's life, man. That's one thing we've all learned from COVID, that life goes on and things happen and we do the best we can. But I think the biggest thing with that is being upfront.
Yeah.
And honest with them. Like, not like, oh, I had a doctor's appointment, or no, my kid's in the hospital, bear with me, or I had a death in a family, or whatever it is.
Something, yeah.
So
thanks everyone who's watching. Shout out to John. Who else we have? Dave, Joshua, Matt. I said Matt. Justin. Oh, Bones. Shout out to Bones. He's rocking away on his new shop.
Yeah. And you get the family man PDR,
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. You just do it the best you can.
Performance. Yeah, that's it, but yeah, it's just crazy,
It's hard for you because you take passion in what you do.
Right. But I also love my family. I love my little one, and I gotta make sure she's good. So, but it's just that one thing at a time. It's something I always tell everyone. I tell my wife all the time, just like one thing at a time.
100%.
But at the end, everything worked out. It definitely also feels great to have someone else here in the shop, because whatever big job I had to finish up that Tuesday, he was able to just stay working, So by the time I came back to work, that job was like, it was almost completed, So a lot of learning experience that, last week. So it was great. Overall, how's your week?
Dude, we're busy, and I closed the shop down for today and tomorrow to get ready for our event on Saturday. And the phone's ringing. Everybody's like, they're calling for some chance of rain. And Maryland's a type to where, like, you can call for rain and it'll never rain. It's one of those things. Like, it's just the Maryland weather. So, I've had a lot of people. I mean, I had a guy call and says he's driving 3 hours away to get here for Saturday. And what time is this starting? And so I'm excited, but I'm freaking terrified.
So for everyone that doesn't know what you're up to this week, I mean, you want to give us a little rundown?
So it's our 1 year anniversary at my shop. And last year we threw a grand opening and there was about 300 cars showed up. So I like events like that. So I decided to do it again, and I got a food truck, and we got probably about $11,000 in giveaways.
Wow.
So we're like all my suppliers that do paint protection film and touch up. And, that's one thing I do want to touch on in a minute. But it's really good for me because I'm kind of giving back. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people like goodie bags, and I mean, so much stuff we're giving away. So I'm excited for that.
Do you think that your grand opening event made like a huge impact, and that's why you really want to do it again? Or
I think it helped. My thought process on any event at any shop, it's all about getting feet through the door, right? It's the people that never knew you were there, or the people that like, wow, you do that too. So it's that customer that the more people through the door, the events you can throw that will keep bringing people through, because there's going to be families there. Like the food truck has their own following, so they're going to bring their own people. The more people that find out that you're there, they're like, oh, I didn't even know you were there. So that's my thought process. I think I definitely got my money back last year on how much money I put out for the event. And to be honest with you, I like every single customer for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, I put a flyer in their car. So a lot of my customers are like, I'll be there, you know, so I'm excited to see my customers, you know.
That's cool.
So
you mean like a flyer for this actual event?
yes.
That's cool.
So, I'm excited. It's a lot, man. I mean, we ripped the whole floor out. You know how much painstaking that is. Just imagine how much more floor I have. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But it's been good.
Now, how do you feel now going in? And I mean, I know that you've had the other shop across the street for longer than 1 year, but how does it feel now? Because this is everyone's dream, right? To have a shop and have multiple services. But now you're celebrating 1 year.
It's
how does that feel?
I've gotten to the point to where, like when I was in my car show game, I never enjoyed the process. Like I made a post the other day about that. There was, I mean, a shit ton of people commented on it and liked it. But I kind of like just was like, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? Like, what can we do here? I never enjoyed that process of getting there. So now, like where I am now, I really kind of sit back and I'm trying to absorb it all. I'm trying to absorb, the customer that comes in and says, you're the best. You guys are the best. There's nobody like you guys. And that's the stuff I'm really, truly enjoying and absorbing. So 1 year, I'm excited to see what the next 2 years bring. But it's been really good. I'm really, really lucky. I got a really good team of guys and things are really good.
And I mean, for anyone that maybe it's watching that have these same dreams about having a shop and maybe it's hesitant or anything like that. Now with all this experience, what's your like words of advice? Like
work your ass off, have a vision before you start anything. And just trust your vision. Do you know what I mean? Like put your mind together of what you want to do and know in the back of your head, no matter how hard it is, that if you in your head have a path that you want to go on and you stay on that path, it's all going to work out. Because this hasn't been all sun daisies and rainbows. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of stuff that I've missed for the family and events. But the biggest thing is make a plan, stick to it, pivot if you have to pivot.
Right.
And just do what you believe in.
Yeah. That's good, man. It was put me to tear. No, but I mean, it's crazy because a lot of the times, like, we want to do something, but we don't really have a vision, like, of what is it. We just know that we want to do something, but it's just like we don't have a vision for it.
And you're scared. And you're
scared. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And it's our guest tonight that's coming on. We were talking about that. Like, you need to put a plan together, stick with that plan, and pave the road.
Right.
If that road takes you 3 years, it takes you 3 years. If it takes you 5 years, it takes you 5 years. But at the end, you know where you want to be. That whole shop that I'm in now is everything that I wanted. If I had to do it now again, it would be a different style of a shop because you always think you know what you want, right? Until you're in it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, man, if this was this or this was this, it would be so much better. But we always want, you know what I mean? So sometimes you have to sit back and just say, we're doing good, but that's the biggest thing is make a plan. They always say you have the really rich and they say, write it down. Because if you don't write it down, it's just a thought.
Did you write it down?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And just kind of got an idea. A lot of it is, it's a lot. Like Matt Moore and I have talked, and we know dents. we all know dents, right? We all know how to run our own little portion of a business. But then you start bringing on window tint, you bring on ceramics, and you bring on PPF. We don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just figuring it out on the fly, So it's a constant learning. Don't be scared to learn. Don't be scared to fail, because there's plenty of shit that I've failed at.
But how do you process that? I mean, because it's more easy said than be done, right? Like, yeah,
I've been through so much, you know what I mean? Like with being sued by Dent Wizard and the whole struggle on the way to where I am now, that I sit back and I'm like, I know it's going to work. It's that thought process of, I put the work in, it's going to work. It's that mindset that you need that puts you there. And support. Like I say this to everybody, if you don't have support at home, it's going to be a hard road. If your significant other or family don't support you, no way you would be sitting at your shop tonight doing the show every week if you didn't have support.
Yeah.
So that support is a big thing, having the right. And I never believed this before. Man, we're getting deep on this show. We haven't even started with our guest. But I always heard this, watch who you hang out with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who your friends are will predict your future. And I was like, how? But it's true. Like you start hanging around with more entrepreneurs or more business owners, you'll see a difference in your path. And a lot of that is just them throwing ideas and you relate. I'll go to lunch once in a while with a couple body shop owners that are friends of mine, and we can all relate about the same problems, even though we're different types of business.
Yeah.
So, eliminate the guys that are creating heartache or drama or issues for one that gives you a clearer path in your brain, a clearer mind space, and then you'll start thinking like they think.
Right.
They're really smart entrepreneurs that are growing and that are making millions of dollars. So that's the biggest thing is
how do you, the same thing. I mean, it's more easy said to be done. Like cut off those people who are not like supporting you and influencing you to do better. But how do you recognize those people?
You get to, and I'm a little older than you are. You learn, like you classify your friends when you get older. Like I would hear like my parents talking about it, my mom talking about it, or older friends, and okay, well they're a convenient friend, or they're a friend that comes around when there's an event, or there's friends that can't come to events, when you have them in town. You have I'm just kidding. But you classify your friends because you know who your ride or die are.
Yeah.
Like if something happens, somebody's going to be there. You know who to call. Who's your first call? So you kind of classify your friends of who supports me, who doesn't support me.
Or like the ones that you tell like a business, idea to, and if they derail that whole thought and take you into something else that's not even in your mind. I think that, it's funny talking about that. I have this one friend that anytime I have a like business idea, that if I tell it to that person and that person responds with like, no, don't do it, I don't know, you should do something different, I always know that that's what I need to do. And I say that because like to where I'm at now, like different things that I've done that have brought me here, there's a lot of things that that person has said no, 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 and I've done the opposite, and that's what's exactly has worked.
Yeah.
And so anytime I think about something new, I know that if I have a conversation with that person and he tells me the opposite, I know that's it.
Well, and me and you've had talks about other things that you were, thinking about doing, and you absorb that part. Okay, well, this is the mistakes that I made, or this is what I think you need, or, do you think this will work? And, that's the best thing. One thing we're very lucky in this industry is to have this, right?
Right.
To have our group of people in our industry that we can call and say, what do you think about this? hey, what do you think about that? Or how did you do that? Or why did you, that's the stuff that we're really lucky, because there's a lot of industries that don't have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Do you ever have conversations also with your clients about your ideas and your
all the
business?
time. Like if I have some really, really good customers. And I actually just had one this week. It's funny you brought that up. Higher end cars, money's not an issue, but I treat him like we've known each other for 30 years. And that's why he tells me the reason I come back is because you make me feel comfortable. Like he had a Maybach and he brought in, he wanted tinted, and we tinted it. And I didn't like the shade from the rear door to the front door. It matched outside amazing, but when you sit in the car, you could see it was a little off, right? Well, I called him and I said, can you come? This is the way we can fix this, but can you please come and look at it? So he comes over and he looks at it. And we're sitting in the both of us are in the back seat of his Maybach with the door shut. And we're talking, and he's like, what do you think? And I was like, I think you should do this. Or what do you think about that? Or we have this option. And he looks at me and he's like, I really appreciate this, because it's not about the money. It's about doing the right thing. But I said to him, as a business owner, from you looking on the outside spending money, what can I do to make my business better and better for you? And that's the questions you ask your customer, because in your mind, you think your business is perfect, right? We're doing everything right. This is the way it's supposed to go. Things are going good, but you're not looking from the outside in.
Right.
So don't ever be scared to say, hey, can I do anything to make this experience any better?
Yeah.
Because their feedback is priceless.
Yeah. I remember when I first opened up the shop, there was a few clients that I asked that question to. It's just like, they were congratulating me that I had something good going, but it was just like, my question was like, what do you think I could improve on? And sometimes, we all have egos, and sometimes our ego could stop us from questioning those things, but you never know too, the type of answer that you could get that could help you to just, prosper even more.
Yeah. We're blind-minded sometimes. That's what I call it. Kind of like the horse with the blinders on. We're so focused in this space, right? We're so focused in the dent space, that sometimes we don't look at what the consumer's looking at. I was on another podcast and we were talking about dent repair stuff, and everybody's using the light. The average person, what the hell? They don't know what they're looking at,
Yeah.
So a lot of that is we have to dumb down our business so people understand it.
Yeah.
But we as techs don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
So, you always have to get different input to say, okay, do you think this is working, or is this not working? So that's a cool thing about our business, is we can do that. But feedback is big.
Now, last question, before we move on from the subject, but what was that one thing that motivate you to move in the direction that you're in now, like having your shop celebrating 1 year?
COVID. I'm being serious. I tell everybody all the time, and we talk about this all the time, because when people come in, they're like, they look around, they're like, wow, this place is really nice. And I'm like, yeah, they're like, how did you still, go through the story? But COVID did it. You know why? Because I sat back and I was like, I took the time off, so I got to figure me out. You know what I mean? I thought I was doing everything the way that I wanted to do it, and I got to figure myself out on the business end of exactly what I wanted, because I had that time off. 2, life's too short. We're all so scared to fail, right? We're all scared to do things. The best part about our business is you fail, you just pick up, go do it mobily. What's going to happen? Oh, my credit's going to hit the shit box. Get right back in that van and push dents, Manny's PDR. Like, really, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. At the end of the day, it's not like you own a restaurant, right? You put a lot into a restaurant and the restaurant fails. This is different.
Yeah.
This, we can get back in those trucks, figure it out.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because Chris Brown, I was on the phone with him one day, and we were talking about some financial stuff that I was just picking his brain. And you know, basically I was doing that. I was asking him questions about failing financially, you know, and one of his things was just like, Manny, he says, you know, he reminded me, he's just like, how old are you? Just like this much. It's like, you know, in my last 30 years, he says, I felt in this and that, that and this. And he says, and, you know, you still have a long way to go. That it's just like, if whatever happens financially, it's just like you can still get back up and keep going.
Yeah, I mean it's easy for me to say now, but 5 years ago, I was scared.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I tell Nick Prang, I said, we were talking about retail space. I'm like, just do it. I'm just, you know, I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I don't regret anything I've done.
Yeah.
And one thing in my life that I've learned, and this is one part of that Facebook thing that I posted the other day, the shittier the steps, the harder you fall. When you look back, when you are where you want to be, the only reason you are where you want to be is because of those shitty steps and the hard falls.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you're there. Because each one of those are a step and something you learned.
Yeah.
So, God, look at this banger today. 26 minutes.
Hey, by the way, sorry if you hear that knocking down in the back. We are getting a taste out of our own work. I do have another tech who works with me here, and he's working on the job. So, yeah, if you hear it, let me know. I'll put it in mute or something. But.
So, one thing I did want to bring up before we bring our guest on. Everybody saw it. At MT, I did sign up with Dr. Color Chip. And I'm extremely happy, and it's crazy how easy you can mark up a simple dent repair with a touch-up.
Oh, really?
You know, you're adding in between $50 and $80 extra on top of your $300 dent because there is a chip, and it took a little bit of a time. You know, at MT, they make it look really, really, really easy, but you're not doing it, right?
I mean, just like we do with dents.
Exactly. But the longer we worked with it, the better it got. You know, I've learned that globbing the touch-up on there looks way worse than getting paint physically in the damage. You know what I mean? You're getting color in that damage. I'm extremely happy with it.
So what kit did you get?
I ended up going the whole thing. We went all in.
Oh, okay.
So there's 130 colors. Literally comes with everything you need. And their process really makes it easy. So if I look at one of the purchases that I've made in the last couple of years, that was a good one. For one, sometimes things happen in our business, right? Paint breaks or a fender edge blows out and the paint cracks. I like to know I got Dr. Color Chip and we can fix it up before it's even an issue. Two, I got it for PPF. So these cars that they say, oh, it's brand new, straight from the dealer, and it's got 300 rock chips on it. We're putting PPF on it. I can put color in there and put the PPF over. But the upsell that we've been doing it's crazy. I mean, just this week, I think we've generated like $600 more. We already have the car there, and you're charging $50 to $80 more per car, and it doesn't take you that much longer. You know, because you'll get that nasty dent that just has that little bit of damage, or when it has the paint transfer and you think it's a paint transfer and then you buff it off and the paint's missing. You call the customer, send them a picture, sold. No brainer.
Now, how hard is it, like mixing up the colors to
a lot of it? So it's 130 of the manufacturer's most popular colors. So a lot of the colors, like I had a Miata, like an MX-5, like a 2000, I think it was a 22 MX-5. It had a really nasty crease and the paint was damaged. Exact color match.
Oh, no way. So
we had a BMW. They do a lot with European cars. So there's a lot of Porsche colors, a lot of BMW colors, a lot of Volkswagen. And literally the color for this BMW was exact. Me and Mikey were like, holy shit, this exact color match.
Really?
So they've got some in there, but you can also, they give you mixing cups and you can literally put a silver in there and add some black or add some blue or add some yellow and just it.
Oh, I see. So all those different boxes that you have, all those touch-up bottles are a specific color for certain
Yeah, they're not, they don't
manufacturers.
tell you who the manufacturers are. So you kind of have to pull the bottle out, shake it, look at the bottom, kind of color match them. But they pick the most manufactured colors and put them in there.
Got it.
That's
Then
cool. They have a prep agent. They have this kind of blending agent that goes on there. It's funny because like 2 years ago, I remember getting the Tesla touch-ups and I'm like, what the hell is that blending agent? But it was Dr. Color Chip.
Yeah.
So it's been really good. I'm really like, I was a little leery. It's a lot of money, but it was really good. What I did do was that, because there isn't a whole lot of dent guys, and I was getting a lot of calls like after I started posting it because we were talking about it. Me and you sat in the class at MTE. And I did get it to where we still would get the MTE price.
Okay.
For the group to give you a discount.
Okay.
And then there's a code that I can give you that'll give you even a little bit more of a discount.
Okay.
I kind of just did that because I knew I was going to buy it.
Yeah.
And then I knew that some of the other guys that called me were interested. So I called them and said, look, we're going to have some dent guys call. You know, I don't know if you can do something. And they was like, yeah, we'll give you MT price. And
that's cool.
So, but I'm very, very happy with it.
That's cool. Now, it doesn't mean that you can start cracking paint all the time now, all right? Just kidding.
Well, I'm good at cracking paint, so we're good. But no, everything's been great, man. Josh is working out really well. My new guy, Josh from Colorado, he's doing really, really well. And I realized, I told Kevin Bird the other day that I'm not a trainer. I don't plan on ever being a trainer. And I never really want to be a trainer. But I really enjoy a guy that has enough knowledge to get himself in trouble and say, what about this? Oh, I never thought about that. Let me try that. Or, you know, he's been absorbing a lot, which is really fun for me to watch him evolve. But everything's good, dude. I got no complaints right now. It's long as we can make it through Saturday with no major. Last year, the first 5 minutes of my event, there was a car accident right in front of my shop. So
yeah, I remember you telling me.
Let's get that out of the way this year. So I'm excited. There's a bunch of dent guys that are coming in town. All the local dent guys are coming, so I'm excited for that. It's gonna be cool.
I was on my way, but it was either missed the show or missed the flight, so I couldn't
Manny
miss the show.
So full of crap tonight.
Oh man!
So let's get to our guest, man. You know, we got only 30 minutes left.
Yeah,
we've been yapping about real life stuff, but this has been a really good show. I don't like talking this much.
Who is our guest?
I don't know, man. I mean, he's such a good friend. He, you know, actually is coming to my event. Come on. You guys probably saw the post earlier.
Oh, I'm out of here.
Oh no.
So we got Alex from Den Hunters in here.
We talked about hiring.
It's Arizona Paintless Dent Repair.
I'm sorry, Arizona Paintless Dent Repair.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Alex in the house. Man.
He brought all his stuff. He's going to show me that he can beat you in about 4.5 minutes.
Man, I don't know. You better not have them. Don't put Alex to do no dent demonstrations on Saturday.
I think one of these guys are gonna have to do it because I run around like my ass is on fire.
We're gonna lose some clients on Saturday if you let Alex do it. We're not just kidding.
How was your trip?
Hey, I want crap and don't pay.
So what's up, Alex? So when did you get in?
Can you hear?
It's like super loud.
Oh, okay. Let me fix them up here. We're good. You good now?
Yeah, it's better.
Go for it.
What you say?
No, I said, so when did you get in? Or when did you fly in?
I woke up at 3 a.m.
Oh, man.
Flew out, got here at like 1:20.
Okay.
Long flight, but it was worth it.
So far, not just kidding.
I put him to work today.
Uh-oh. How was
We
that
had a
like?
body shop. It was fun.
We're both looking at this body guy saying, man, you really need to pull this quarter more. And he's like, no. And you're shutting the trunk and like the quarter's a little bit forward and the trunk's line. He's like, see, it's pretty close. I'm like, there's a reason there's still a buckle in that quarter. And he's like, no, it's fine. It doesn't need to be pulled. And me and him are looking at it like,
Yeah. 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 The body man relationships, right?
And then he tried to tell us how to fix aluminum.
Yeah.
After that.
he looks at me, and I've done work at this body shop for like 15 years. And he's like, do you fix aluminum? And I'm like, what? I've been fixing Ford Ranger hoods since 2002. So, you know.
Oh man. Adam Jones is asking if Ryan made you fix all the dents today.
No, he didn't fix one dent today. I didn't either. That's a bad thing too.
Yeah.
So, how's it been in Arizona?
It's been good. It's super busy. Like 3 days ago, it started hitting my 97. My AC in my house wasn't working, so I had to deal with that. But the dent business is really good.
How's it been since you've been back from Bryce? Because you remember he went to school. We went to training with Bryce.
How is that going?
It's going. I mean, I just do a lot of messed up stuff now. I see it. I'm like, yeah, I think I could fix that. And I just put my head down and do it.
Is it harder to say like no to big jobs now?
100%. Because like I'm in that stage of I'm not really worried about the money.
Mm-hmm.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about the money. I'm just worried about putting all that stuff I learned to work.
Mm.
And I'm in wholesale, so
yeah, you get to try stuff that if it works, it works great. If it doesn't, it just goes back to
like that Tundra tailgate. Like,
oh yeah, that was a nasty smash.
That was pretty wild, but
I mean, do you feel like your confidence changed?
100%. Like it makes you get in trouble, but then you pull it off, and you're like, "Thanks, Bryce."
Now, do you think that after that training, like you probably would have not been taking the big jobs that you are now, or even if you would, you probably would have struggled more. Like, what do you think after your training?
There's stuff like I just never would be able to fix without going to him, or it would take me 5 years to learn on my own, 10 years.
Right.
Do you think is it the approach?
Yeah, the whole approach, like everything, the whole mindset, even the mindset is, I remember being with him and I thought he was like my PDR box dent was so bad. At one time he was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, let's just go get a steak. Like, it's all right. If this is impossible, like, it's all right. And he turns around and looks at me. He's like, I don't give up. And I was like, okay. And so we're doing it.
What'd you say? I guess no
finally
steak.
get it. Yeah, we'll stay, and we finally get it to stabilize, and that whole mindset of like anything's fixable if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
That's priceless right there.
But do you feel like sometimes, and we all do it, sometimes you get in a dent, right? And you have multiple cars scheduled, or you have places you have to be. You ever feel like you have to make that, I'm cutting my loss and moving on? Like Bryce's situation is different because he's not scheduling that much. But like in my situation, like if I get on a dent and it's just crushed and I still have 2 more cars to do, and I'm like, this is never going to come out to be as good as I want it to be. Do you ever feel like cut it and move on? That's where I am.
I'm not really like I'm not worried about getting reviews or any of that because I'm mainly doing like big dealerships and stuff I like doing. But pretty much if I take something on, if they rush me on time, I'm like, well, you could take it to the body shop or you could wait. You know,
True.
like I do it that way, and then retail for me is if they pay me what I'm worth, I'll do it. If not, I'm just gonna stick with wholesale.
Do you schedule cars for multiple days, or do you kind of get them in and then, oh man, it's going to take more days? How do you do it, Manny? Because you keep a lot of stuff for a couple days.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that right now. That like I had a feeling like that earlier this week where I've been taking a lot of like big hits, and at one point I was just like, man, like I'm done with this like big project. It's just like I want to move on to like the little stuff, the little dents. But it's just like you took it on because you believe you could do it.
Yeah.
And it's just like halfway there, it's just like you can't just tap out. Like you gotta just figure it out. Like you were saying, like if everything's workable, So I had a feeling like that, and what I was going to ask you is just like, how do you stay motivated to like finish in a big job like that?
Like that tailgate?
Yeah, like let's say just a big job.
I'm crazy.
Like, the right music.
I'm kind of OCD about that. Like if I start something, I want to finish it. And that's like it's anything that I do. If I take something on, I just want to finish it. And if I don't finish it, it's a really bad day.
Well, you didn't do that in the dent trials.
Yeah. Well, that's because you psyched me out. You were like, you acted like you went to the door and you did, and then you went back to I was like, oh my gosh, she's done with the video already. Hey, if you compete against Manny, do not watch it.
I've given Alex a hard time from the 2019 dent trials.
That was the worst idea to like build that up, and that was Manny's idea. Manny called me when I was joking around.
But you were asking me, Ryan, about the scheduling the big job. So I try to schedule a big job and try to get it done in one day. But that one day means from 8:00 in the morning till like, half. Well, sometimes I'll do like a day and a half. So it'll be like from 8:00 one day to 12:00 the next day. But my goal is always to just get it done that one day.
Yeah.
Like in 24 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
in 8, like if he gets it at 8, he tries to deliver it.
Yeah, that tailgate took me about 15 hours to get it to that. So, I mean, same goal. I might have to take something else on and then go back to that.
Yeah.
Like you do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy, but like going home and and like sleeping on it and coming back to finish it up. It's crazy how much how much of a difference that makes sometimes. And I learned that from Don. We were one time at the one of the Dent Olympics, and I was telling him how come he didn't do it, and then he was just like, "No, man. Like if I like to go home, sleep on it, come back with a fresh mind the next day, and just blow it out the water."
Fresh eyes makes a big deal.
Eyes.
It helps 100%.
Oh yeah,
it
big
helps.
Time. So I kind of took that, and I was just like, instead of like really trying to finish it up in one day, I'll just leave it to finish it up for the next day. And that's what I tell my clients, that it's just like, yeah, maybe I'll get it done that day, but I still like to come back the following day, just give it another look and fresh eyes, out in the sun too, and just clean up anything that it's left. You know what I mean?
What do you, after you got back from Bryce, would you say that you mentally were taking on larger jobs? Like where you like, I would have never tried to fix that, but I'm gonna fix it.
I just knew what
could be done.
What could be done, and a lot of guys, like when I was a 5-year tech, I used to think Bryce's repairs were fake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I did. Like
no,
I didn't know any better, I'm going on like my 13th year now or 12th year. And your mind just, it's like if you were a GM of a store and you went to GM school, how much are you going to learn that you didn't know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you invest in yourself, you'll be surprised. And in my opinion, that's the best guy to go to.
Yeah.
Like even if someone else that's really good that starts training, I'd still go to the best.
Yeah.
It's going to be, even if that's $2,000 cheaper than the best guy, I'll spend that $2,000 to go to the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you have no question, no doubt. A big upside of Bryce is you have him as a mentor for the rest of your career. You go to him, So that's a huge thing. I mean, like, there's no one else I'd rather have map out a dent for me than Bryce Kelly.
Yeah. I have a question for you. How do you, what do you look for in a dent for you to say, no, this is not workable? Or what's a red flag for you to say, like, okay, no, this is not going to work out? Is it?
If the crossbar in the panel is totally bent, if it's making highs and making highs, like the bar will do, but like if you look inside and it's bent, then I won't do it.
Now, if you're busy, like say you have a ton of work and you have a smash job, would you feel more inclined to pass on that because you are busy?
I'm training my brother right now.
Oh yeah.
And he's gonna take over a lot of like my easy work, and I have another full-time guy, and I basically just do all the hard stuff anywhere I need to.
That's cool.
And I'm eventually gonna get into like a retail. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Maybe I'll build a shop in my house or
just move to Maryland.
I'm a desert boy. But there's a lot that I can do from where I'm at now, and I've grown so far. It's like, where can I take this?
Yeah. And how is it training your brother?
It's hard, man. It's like training is no joke. Definitely go to a guy that knows what he's doing. My brother's coming along really good.
Yeah. Are you sending him to a school, or you're going to do it all on your own?
After a certain amount of time, I'm going to send him to Bryce Kelly.
Really?
Yeah. So, but Bryce Kelly won't take on a beginner.
Okay. Joshua has a good question. He says, what did you think you struggled with that made you know that you needed to go to Bryce? That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
The minute he started training, I was just like, I'm going.
Well, I said it years ago. I said to Ashley, I said, if Bryce ever trains, I'm going. But I was
able to go to a guy that like we all look up to and get in his mind and see how he operates. And I want to go back.
Well, when you went to training, did you tell him what you struggle on? Super sharp dents, stretch dents?
Oh yeah, he looks at like all your work, and before you even go meet him, he's looking at what you're doing.
Did you guys see that new the training seminar that they're doing in June?
Mm-hmm.
Or did you sign up for that, Alex? Or
I didn't. I kind of want to, but I'm probably going to go back to Bryce. I don't know when, but I probably will.
Yeah. Well, I guess that thing's sold out now too.
Just so I could beat you into dent trials, you know?
Did it sell out already?
Yeah. Yep.
Holy crap.
I was I'm not gonna lie, I was actually trying to go.
He was trying to go there and not come here, huh?
I know.
What the hell?
What's the guy's name that's from another country that's going?
I
was trying to think of it.
It's Brazilian guy. Oh man, I can't pronounce his name, so I cannot remember. But yeah, there's a Brazilian guy. He's supposed to be really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him, to be honest. But then there's Bryce, there's Matt, and then Shane.
Matt who?
Matt Moore.
Matt Moore.
It's at Matt's place.
Oh.
But yeah, anyways, it's supposed to be a great event. Yeah, I tried to sign up for it, but I didn't pay the fees on time, so it got sold out. But anyways, I'll look for the name.
I know a guy.
Where is this thing? Anyways, we can go on. I'll pull it up right now.
I can't say his name even if I saw it. I think.
No, it's really.
But he's extremely good. Like I say, Bryce is like the best in the country. That guy's not in the country.
Now, you ready to fix a dent in front of 300 people on Saturday or what?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
As long as he's not there trying to get in my head.
I mean, hey. We won't hit it with an air
Manny,
cannon.
the first time you did the dent trials or the dent Olympics, how'd you do?
The first time? Oh, I don't. I was sitting in that chair like, I'm not. Oh, you know what? It's funny. Manny from Puerto Rico won that year. I forgot what place he put. But when they said Manny, I was like, oh, what? I made it. And then he got up and he went. I was just like, oh, I guess it's not me. Yeah, no, I failed many times, man. I mean, even this last year, I didn't make anything. This is the guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Mm-hmm.
But
Gudez.
yeah, he's from Brazil. He'll be there training, and then also Bryce.
I mean, that's two of the best guys I know of in the whole industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I definitely want to go.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go for that, and also more on the business aspect of it. You know, just like I feel. I mean, you can never stop learning. You know, you can never stop growing. Like you were saying, Ryan, just keep setting those goals, keep setting those visions, and just keep at it. You know.
Yeah.
And so for me, I mean, even though like a lot of the stuff are good, it's just like I know I still have, you know, more room to grow. So for me, it was more on the business side. And then same thing, just seeing what do they see different, you know, because we all see different things. We had a situation here with my guy over the weekend. I came in and I worked on a car and I moved the metal a certain way. And then he came in Monday and he undid everything that I did, you know. And when I finally came back, it's just like we moved it back to the, you know, position where we had it. But it was not his fault, you know. It's just that I had a certain vision to how I moved the metal, and he also had a vision of how to move the metal, but I didn't communicate correctly. And so we both just, you know, we're still trying to aim for the same result, right? But everyone just moves metal different depending on what they see or what they know how to do, you know. So that was also my the reason why I wanted to go, just to see what is it that these guys see, or that, you know, they.
I think that's what's awesome about our industry is like no tech is the same.
No.
Right.
Everyone's different.
I love feedback or input.
Yeah.
You know, like I had a Range Rover driver's side quarter crushed, big nasty dent, and it was a family member's car. It was a cousin of mine, and I'm looking at it, and Josh is there, and Mikey's there, and I look at them, and I'm like, "What's your thoughts on this? You know, are we using lateral tension? Are we using the K bar? How do you?" Because we couldn't get to the backside, it was going to be all glue, and Mikey came up with this idea, but then Josh is like, try this here. So we did it all, we fixed it. But I love when I can get input from other people and say, why don't you try this? Because we don't always, we're always thinking in our own box.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why when I like to post stuff while I'm doing a big job on IG. And, because I like to get feedbacks. There's been so many times where I actually get feedback from other techs. The thing works.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's awesome.
Do you know how much the seminar is?
Actually, it's $3,500, which is actually not, I didn't think the price was, crazy.
That's well worth it.
Absolutely. But it's a 4-day event. So
the guys that
is anyone on here who's watching or anyone going? Just curious.
The guys that went to Bryce when he did that seminar with PDR College back in the day. How many years ago?
That was quite a few. Was it 20?
One of those guys is that Man of Steel guy on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And he's killing it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was at one of those seminars. So, I mean, that's all those guys there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of knowledge for $3,500.
I mean, just like when Mike Toledo and what's his name started doing those seminars.
The mega media events.
The mega media events. I mean, there's so many techs that grew out of that stuff too.
Yeah.
That was more for photography though, right?
No, it was a little bit of everything. It did social media and it wasn't a bad event. I mean, I spoke at one in Colorado and it was a good event. It was a good mix of different business owners and stuff that you could pick, a little snippet from everybody.
Retail stuff.
Yeah. For the most part, yeah.
I'm wholesale.
Come on now.
So Alex,
step your game up.
So Alex, being at Ryan Shutt at Ryan's shop for this event, is there anything that you're looking forward to
Besides all my blending hammers he's been buying up?
Trying to take them.
Is there anything that you're looking forward and seeing how Ryan does it or the shop or?
Definitely seeing how he does a brick and mortar. Definitely going to try and do that.
He got to see me do an estimate today. He's like, "How much do you price it at?" I'm like, $1,200. He's like,
"Yeah." I was like, "I don't know if I could do that."
And they'll be back. You could tell she wanted her stuff fixed. You know what I mean? So,
but yeah, I'll definitely try and get a shop.
It's a lot of work. It's Manny knows
it's kind of that balance of how do I keep the wholesale and then get a shop, or how do I make enough money out of wholesale to pay for the overhead of the shop?
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
It's a lot to
just
gotta go for it. You put your head down and go for it.
Yeah, I think it's what we started talking about, right? It's just it's having that vision, and then just figuring it out along the way. I mean, I think we talked about this with Dave O at MTE too. It's just he was working with Chris, but he also had a vision of he could do that back in Chicago, and it was just he just saw that vision. He's just I'm just gonna go for it, and things will unfold along the way. And Dave ended up picking up a pretty big location, just figuring things out along the way. But just you have to be able to have that vision, though. You know.
Yes. Yes. Look at that rematch in September.
Yeah.
Oh, it's happening. Vegas. Okay.
I ain't saying if I'm going.
I can't even deal with you guys anymore.
Dude,
I've been begging Manny to come for like weeks.
Plays mind games.
And he's like, I even have his wife, and his wife's like, buy me a vacuum. And I'm like, give me your address. I'm just going to Amazon you the vacuum you want. But
yeah, so I was trying to go to Ryan's event, and
he didn't try.
No, we actually tried, and then the last thing that the wife was put me head to head to is just like, well, if you buy me this vacuum, then you can buy the ticket. You could go.
Send me the Amazon address. We're gonna buy the vacuum right now.
And I didn't end up buying the vacuum. That's why I didn't get to go.
But no, I mean, I'm excited for you to kind of see the network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. You do it too. You have your network of customers and people in your area that are your advocates. You know, they're out there selling for you. So
how about for you, Ryan?
Huh?
I said, how about for you? Is there something that that's you're pointing out to, or that
I'm like so much for him?
No, for you, just for this event.
It's a lot, dude. You know, there's a lot of moving parts. It's a very strategic way of how the cars are going to be parked, what's going to be parked, where it's going to be parked, how it's going to work. You know, it's going to be fun. Like after we're in it, it's going to be fun, but getting to it is like, I mean, I shut my business down for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is. I mean, I've got Josh that's still doing some stuff. Me and him ran and looked at a car today. So, and people are still coming in the door. You know, like I have all the floor of the whole shop outside, and people are still walking through the door and like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, oh, we're getting ready for our event. What event? And giving them, you know. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to see my customers.
That's cool. And not have to worry that you actually have to work on their cars.
Not even that. I
still hang out, right?
It's that building the relationship that I'm really good at.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come and they have another dent, they feel even more comfortable and they trust me. It's not always about making the money. It's that long-term growth of your clientele.
Yeah.
The relationship.
Yeah. So, but it should be good. As long as the weather holds out. I mean, I had a million calls today. What about the rain? What about the rain? What about the rain? I'm like, show's still going on. They're like, well, what are we going to do? I said, we're going to sit under this new tent that I bought and eat barbecue. It's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. I've learned to only stress the stuff you have control over. Mm-hmm. The stuff you don't have control over, it's out of your hands, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool,
I wish
man.
you could be here. My heart.
Yeah. Listen,
I'm like having a bad
I couldn't make it, but I sent you Alex.
You didn't send me.
Oh.
I got another guest coming that we'll go live tomorrow.
So
I got another guy that's flying from across the country.
Ryan, I got to tell you something. So I get a call from Alex. He says, I'm not going to be able to make it. I said, Alex, I'm not going to be able to go, so you have to go for me. He says, I know I don't want to go. I said, please just go for me. And so that's the reason why he's there.
It's been crazy.
So I know I'm not there personally, but I send you Alex.
So like Thursday, I came today, right? This was my first day off in 15 days. I've worked straight.
That's called bad scheduling.
Like, no, it's called wholesale. Like you have to be the hero all the time.
The wholesale life.
You know, the wholesale life is a grind, but I like it. It's all I know. You know, and going to Bryce for training, the ultimate goal of that is to be all retail. You know, but I have all these relationships with wholesale.
But I'm gonna say this one tip to that whole thing. and Josh kind of brought it to my attention. The more avenues of revenue streams that come into your business, the better you are.
Yeah.
So don't get rid of all your dealers.
No, you got to
Keep all these different ways. Okay. Like I get all these vans from the port. It's called Adrian Steel. They put the shelving units in the transits and stuff. Well, they always damage cars.
Yeah.
That's another way. Detailers, wrap shops, all these different avenues of work coming your way, because when the wholesale market hits the shit stock like it did in 2008, it's going to be hard, you know, or when this recession that they keep talking about every week that's going to happen and people don't spend money, retail's going to take a hit.
Yeah.
So if you can keep all these different body shops or whatever, different ways of wholesale cars or whatever we can do to get different revenue streams in is huge.
In my opinion, I was hired by a paintless and repair guy in 2008 to learn, and it was busy. But like I feel like in a recession, I feel like our job is recession proof. You're gonna always find work. If you need work, you're gonna find it.
Well, now it's also COVID proof, right?
True.
Yeah, that could have been a horrible recession.
Yeah.
You know, like
I don't know. They were giving away free money, so you know.
Yeah. I didn't get it.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for Alex to kind of see what, you know, I talk about it and he sees it online and we talk.
Yeah.
And I think I'm excited for him to kind of see the team that I've kind of put together, and not even so much just the facility. Facility's a facility, but just seeing what we put together. I think it helps everybody that comes, you know, because they see a little bit, okay, that works that way, or this works that way, or so. Not saying my way's the right way.
He wants a shop, but I think now just being able to see you and seeing the actual shop, hopefully that can make an impact. He's going to go back to Arizona.
I want a shop that like I can keep all my wholesale, like.
And well, I mean, you got to start somewhere.
It's you know. How do you got to figure out that balance?
Yeah. And
keep everyone happy.
It takes time, you know. Manny may stay in that shop forever, or he may grow into a bigger shop because he's grown. But it's all about that baby step.
Well, man, we talked about on the phone about how when it's slow in retail, you wish you had like some good wholesale to go to. You know, because you're 100% retail, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's good both, but then there's like, and some wholesale is really bad. There's some wholesale I will not even give my attention to, but there's also good wholesale.
Yeah.
You know, but usually a good tech has that, and you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Well, it's that time. I got to take him to his hotel room.
I thought he was going to sleep right there in the garage. No, just kidding.
I got a cot.
It's a nice garage.
Hey, make sure you treat my buddy Alex right.
I'm not even. We may not have a show next week. Manny hurt my feelings.
Hey,
wait till Cindy wakes up tomorrow and that vacuum's on her front step.
No, man. Listen, I really wanted to be there and to celebrate with you in a year because, you know, I've been on this journey with you from the other side of the country, watching you grow, man. And I'm happy for you. Happy for you celebrating this 1 year. Congratulations. You know, sorry I couldn't be there, but enjoy it. You know, enjoy it.
Even if we're just sitting under the tent in the rain eating barbecue.
It'll be fun.
Just look at that shop and just take it all in, man. Just like, you know, it's crazy how all of that started from an idea, you know, an idea from just being locked in at home, you know, and I'm sure so many people on here watching have ideas too. And hopefully that, you know, this could be a motivation that here is Ryan celebrating 1 year, you know.
We didn't go bankrupt. My wife said it the other day. She goes, "Do you remember when we were like, man, I don't know if I can afford that $4,200 rent?"
Yeah.
You know, it just happens. And it's just like buying anything. It's like buying a house. Can we afford that? I don't know. Or can we afford this rent? Or can we afford this car payment? Like, I don't. Everybody, you figure it out.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I started PDR, I almost quit 2 or 3 times. I was scared. I was like, I can't do this. And then when I went on my own with the own business, that took me probably 2 years once I got it in my head to actually pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
You hold yourself back more than anything else.
I mean, was it scary for you to leave the body shop to do that? You went from a body shop to a PDR tech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it was just something that, you know, I mean, even to this day, you still have those moments, you know, just like, man, like, is this really working out? Like, am I even really good at this? Like, you know, how am I going to do this? Like, I remember, you know, years back, it's just like, just moving into the place that we are. It's just like, man, how, you know, am I going to be able to afford this? And now having that rent doubled, you know, because of the shop. And it's just like, it's wild, you know, but it's just like you were saying, just one step at a time, things will fall in place.
Your problems are going to change.
Yeah.
Like you think okay, well, you know, my thing was, can I afford this $4,200 a month rent? Now it's like, man, I need more employees, but I can't find them.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to have problems and they're always going to change. So don't dwell on the problems you have right now. God damn, what am I like coming out hardcore today for? What is going on? But really, you know what I mean? You're always going to have something. So don't let that one thing hold you back, because the next thing you're going to have another problem to deal with. So
yeah. And you're going to have moments like this where you're celebrating a milestone, and you're going to have those, you know, that knowledge that, you know, that you're talking about, that all those things that you went through, you know. So we're all excited for you, Ryan. Congratulations.
Can you believe it didn't come because of a vacuum?
I am telling you, I sent Alex.
He sent me.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, real quick, are they doing the Vegas thing? Because I haven't heard like anything.
Yes.
Any announcement.
From what we know, yes. We're just waiting for the announcements.
So we'll know more soon.
Yeah. But yeah. So you guys have fun.
It's gonna be fun.
There's no drilling at the show, by the way, Alex.
We'll be fishing tomorrow.
We're going fishing.
No way, really?
No, we got so much shit to do. It's
Alex, for anyone
fishing with his employee.
Alex, for anyone that doesn't follow you on your social media, how can they find you?
I'm mainly on Instagram. It's AZ_PDR. And I'm having a website built right now. Should be done by the end of the month, but I'll save that for another time. Okay.
So what was your social IG again?
It's AZ_PDR.
Nice. All right. Well, you guys have fun.
It's nothing like #MPDR. I couldn't see it.
But have fun, guys. Ryan, again, congratulations. And I'll be there in spirit through social media.
I'll FaceTime you, Manny.
I this year I've got to announce all the giveaways, so I don't even know how much I'll be doing social media, but somebody will. There'll be plenty of people there. So
yeah, there you go.
Manny, have a great night, everybody. Have a great night. Keep it real. Wash your damn hands, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next week.
See you, Manny.
See ya.
See you, Ryan. See you, Alex.